Hello, Amy. Today I'm going to show you some fun Easter activities to do with your kids at home. First, we're going to start with a balloon Easter egg. You basically blow up a balloon and you do a water and flour mixture, and you kind of just dip in the tissue paper that you've cut into squares and apply it to your balloon. And you cover your entire balloon, and you can use a cup. That's kind of what I use to let it dry. But you cover it in its entirety and you get a shape like this. And then you will cut the balloon to just kind of deflate it like so. And it kind of just pulls out after it's after the air is released. Got to kind of play with it a bit. And then you trim the sides so you can fit in the candy. And you pop it open a bit and just stuff in some candy. You can put in other fun things like little toys and stuff, anything that's kind of small. And you just kind of funnel them in. And then once you get your desired amount, you go back to paper macheing. So you dip it in again and try to not get it too saturated so it drips into the hole. But basically you just want to cover that hole so it's nice and finished looking and it doesn't have a hole. And you're covering up your cut marks as well. So you dip it in there. And that's basically it. And then they turn out like this, and you can choose to add a little string, and that makes it a little easier for them to pull it. Or you can just go with just the round without the string. Depends on how technical you want to get. And then onto the basket here, you can either it's kind of like a grandma thing. I know my grandma had them. Doily baskets. I couldn't find any doilies, so I just went to the fabric store and got some lace. And you can get this fabric stiffener, and you just basically squirt it in a cup and make sure it's really saturated. Move it around a bit. Add more if you need to. It's a little bit messy, but kids like to get messy, so it'll be fun for them. And you pull it out and stretch it over your bowl. If it's a good bowl, you can cover it with saran wrap, but the stuff chips off pretty easily. But if you're worried about it, just cover it with saran wrap, or you can do some of that parchment paper, but saran wrap releases nicely. And then that's about it, and once it dries, it hardens into a nice bowl shape. Another fun project to do with the kids is some candles made out of eggs, and you can also do plants or flowers. Succulents is what I chose. First, we'll do the eggs. You just take a larger egg and basically take a sharp point of the knife. So you would want to do this and maybe have the kids set out for this part. And you just kind of chip away until you break a hole and pop out some chunks of it. And it looks kind of neat when you leave rough edges. It gives it more of an egg look, you know. You don't want it too perfect. Adds uniqueness. And you would want to kind of clean this out just to make sure you get all the eggs out. And we'll do the candle first. You just stick a store-bought wick in, or you can take some candles that you have laying around the house that you're not really using, and you can just melt those down and take the wick out and reuse the wick. But you just set it in the center, and then you melt down some wax and just pour it in very carefully. And then you can set it in a candle holder, or you can get those egg those egg stands. And you just set it in there to dry, but this is what it looks like when it's finished. It's really cute. You can choose different wax colors and stuff. And you can also dye the eggs first, and that gives it another look. It's really cute. And then we'll move on to the plant one. You do the same thing. You just bust open the top of the egg. And if it breaks too much, you can start over, but this should work just fine. And again, you want to clean this out. And I went to De Pere Greenhouse, and they gave me some really cute succulents to use. They were really helpful there. But if you just go to any kind of greenhouse, I know Mayflower has a big selection of succulents. You want some potting soil, so you just fill it up with this potting soil, and then you add a little bit of water to it, and you can kind of rinse it off too when you're adding the water. And you basically just pop in the flower, and you can set it into any kind of, like, I found these at Goodwill, but anything you have laying around the house would work that would hold the egg. And that's basically it. A fun and easy project for the kids.